a forgotten village, hidden deep within the heart of Punjab, untouched by the rush of modern life. The air is thick with the scent of earth after fresh rain, and a gentle breeze carries the distant laughter of children. Here, time moves at its own pace, unbothered by the ticking of clocks. A young traveler steps into this world, his footsteps sinking into the soft dirt path. He isn't just any visitor, he is searching for something, a connection, a story, perhaps even a lost part of himself. His eyes wander, capturing the thatched roofs of mud-brick homes, the golden wheat fields swaying like waves, and the ancient banyan tree standing tall at the village square, its roots gripping the earth like the fingers of time itself. Under that tree, a group of elderly men sit cross-legged on woven cots, their turbans neatly tied, their eyes filled with unspoken wisdom. Their voices are low, discussing matters that seem older than the village itself. One of them glances up at the traveler, his gaze steady but unreadable. A silent acknowledgement. The traveler nods back. Women in bright-colored shawls walk gracefully, balancing brass pots of water on their heads, their laughter ringing like wind chimes. Smoke rises from clay stoves, carrying the scent of fresh bread. Life here is simple, yet rich. Not in wealth, but in meaning. Every corner of this village holds a story, waiting to be heard. As the traveler moves deeper, he notices something unusual. An old house, slightly apart from the rest. The walls, once vibrant with color, are now faded, whispering of time's passage. Unlike the other homes, no smoke escapes its chimney. No laughter spills from its doors. It stands silent, almost forgotten. Curious, he asks a passerby about it. The man hesitates, his eyes darting towards the elders beneath the banyan tree. He shakes his head and walks away without a word. The traveler frowns. Something is being left unsaid. Something the village chooses not to remember, or perhaps something it refuses to forget. A child tugs at the traveler's sleeve, pointing toward the house. His voice is barely above a whisper. No one goes there. Why? The traveler asks, lowering himself to the child's height. The boy hesitates, looking around as if afraid someone might hear. Then he leans in closer. Because it belongs to the past. Before the traveler can ask more, the boy runs off, disappearing into the maze of narrow streets. A strange feeling settles in the traveler's chest. A mystery lingers in the air, woven into the very fabric of the village. He looks back at the house. The wooden door is slightly ajar, as if waiting, as if calling. The traveler takes a step forward, his heart beating a little faster. Whatever lies beyond that door is a story waiting to be uncovered. A story that has remained unseen, until now. The traveler wanders through the village, his thoughts circling back to the house that no one speaks of. It lingers in the corner of his mind like an unfinished sentence. He has seen beauty in this place, traditions woven into daily life, laughter that carries through the fields, stories passed down like heirlooms. But beneath it all, there is something unspoken, something missing. His footsteps lead him back to the abandoned house. The wooden door, slightly ajar, creaks softly as he pushes it open. Dust floats in the air, catching the light that filters through cracks in the walls. Inside, time has stood still. A rusted lantern rests on a wooden table, an old sharp eye leans against the wall, and a clay pot sits untouched in the corner. It is as if someone left in a hurry, never to return. He moves carefully, his fingers tracing the edge of a carved wooden chest. The lid groans as he lifts it, revealing a bundle of letters, their edges yellowed with age. The ink has faded, but the words remain. They speak of longing, of promises made under the moonlight, of a love that defied the will of the village. A voice startles him. He turns to find an old man standing in the doorway, his gaze heavy with memory. There is no anger in his eyes, only a quiet acceptance. He steps inside, his fingers trailing along the same wooden chest, his voice barely above a whisper. "She used to sit here," he says, almost to himself, writing letters no one would read, waiting for someone who never returned. The traveler listens in silence as the old man unfolds the story. A woman, once full of life, had fallen in love with a man from another village. They had planned to leave together, to start a new life beyond the wheat fields and the banyan tree. But the village had its own rules, its own expectations. And some stories are never meant to have happy endings. She waited for him. Days turned into months, months into years. The village moved on, but she remained, holding on to a love that had been lost to time. And when she was gone, the house remained, a silent witness to a story no one wished to remember. The old man sighs, his eyes drifting to the open door. We stopped talking about her, as if forgetting would erase what happened. He looks at the traveler, a sad smile tugging at his lips. But some stories refuse to be buried. The traveler feels the weight of the tale settle in his chest. The village, with all its beauty and traditions, had chosen silence over remembrance. And yet, here it was, lingering in the cracks of an old house, in the whispers of an elder, in the letters left behind. Somewhere in the distance, the sound of a flute carries through the air, a melody of longing, of things left unsaid. The traveler steps outside, the wind brushing against his face. The village has given him its story, and now it is his to carry.